Oh, hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be setting up the month of August in my journal. And what this usually entails is that first I will reflect on the previous month, July. And how I do that is I look at the habits and goals that I set for July and I see, how my actions reflected those and how they didn't and what room for improvements there are. Then, taking that into consideration, I'll also set up, my habits and goals for August. And so I have been doing this ritual for the past few months, and I really like it because, you know, it helps me keep track of whether I am doing what I say I want to do, and it's just a way to keep me accountable for my actions. And the process of doing this is also something that I do with my wife. The both of us, write our goals for the next month, and it's a way for us to make sure that we're aligned on what we want to do and how we want to take this relationship forward. And so these goals and habits can be anything. They have been the same for the most part because I am still struggling with those, but I do see that I'm getting better and better every day, month by month. And so, I can't wait to share this process with you. So let's get into it. And so the first thing that I want to do is to talk about the journal that I'm using. This right here is a custom leather sleeve that I was gifted for my birthday by my brother. And inside it is the official bullet journal from Leutram. And it's in the green color for 24, I think, or 23. I think it was 23. And the reason I like to use the Leutram bullet journal is just that I find its comfortability the best out of, the ones that I've tried. I did try to use an Archer and Olive one, but their normal notebooks were just way too stiff for me. This Leutram, it lays flat easier. The paper is nice. I like to write with fountain pens, and so it just writes smoothly on those. And I also do like the unique layout of having gap along the border and the pages and all that. It's just the little details that makes me really like this. I don't use it as a bullet journal per se. It's not for planning or anything. It's a lot of it's a diary essentially is how I use it. But just the way the notebook is formatted and laid out is what I appreciate about it. And so, get set up. First thing I'll do is I'll just pull out these tabs. These are the tabs that I got from Archer and Olive from their recent release, Majestic Skies. And so, this is a new addition to my notebook. This just slipped out, and so, you can see that I've marked the months along here. And so, I'll go ahead and do that for August as well. All right, here. And so, what I'll do is I'm going to leave this page, and since today is July 31st, I'll leave this page blank for July 31st. Then, this will be the July in review over here. And so starting this is what I'll get August. And so the first thing I will do is I'll pull up the August tab. And I want it just like here. All right. And so folding this in half. There we go. We got August tab set up. And to showcase, what I'm talking about, here I kind of messed up. I did the opposite way, but this is essentially what I'm going to do. I'm going to put July, the habits that I want to keep, the goals that I have, and then, June in review, but I did that the opposite. So I'm going to do it the opposite way this time. So here, I'm going to take, so this is the Lamy Safari in red, and I'm just going to write July and review. And so I'll go ahead and fill that out later tonight. But, I'm just going to be looking back on here, and I'm going to say, okay, how good was I with keeping up with these habits? How good was I with going to these goals? And other reflections in my personal life. And so now I'm going to go ahead and set up August. And I'm going to go ahead and just write the month here. I do... August, and it's nothing nothing super special. And first thing is the habits that I want to keep. I guess first things is something that I'm constantly trying: healthy eating. So the first habit is healthy eating, and I want to lose some fat, lose some weight. With the recent return to office 5 days a week, I'm finding myself snacking a lot more at the office vending machines, and it's a lot of just sugary crap. That is something that I do want to focus on this upcoming month, and ideally, the rest of my life is just eating healthy. If I want to take snacks, taken from home and not fill myself up with fat. It is constantly a struggle, especially on days that I'm tired and on days where it's just too busy, but it's an important habit, especially, down the line. I want to make sure that I am active, healthy for my family, and so that is the number one priority. And then in relation to that, the second habit I want to keep is daily movement. When it comes to losing fat, they say most of it comes in the kitchen, and so that is why that is the number one priority. But then I do also need to be burning some calories. I just can't be eating healthy and then sitting on my ass the entire day. And considering I have a desk job where I am sitting, I do need to make sure that I am not just sitting the entire time. Otherwise it just messes up my back and everything. And so having daily movement, currently I do go 3 times a week to the gym where I am weightlifting, and then ideally the other days I should be walking at least 7,000 steps, but that's been a struggle. But that is a goal that I have, or a habit that I want to keep. And so my next habit is meditation. Now, meditation is something that my wife does a lot more than I do, but I have been recently keeping up with it. I use the Headspace app, and I find that by doing it every morning, it just makes me feel less anxious, less agitated. And when I go into office, my brain's not running everywhere. This is something that I do want to keep doing because I am seeing the benefits of it. Eventually, maybe I might want to add like an evening meditation where I come home and I do a meditation just to relax me. But for now, at least just the morning meditation should be enough. Then the next biggest thing is hydration. I need to drink a lot more water. I just don't. And that would also probably help me with my weight loss and fat loss, is drinking more water, being more hydrated. It would probably also help with my focus, and just all around, I should drink more water. It's just not happening. And then the other habit that I want to keep is mindful spending. And this does relate back to number one, healthy eating in terms of buying snacks and stuff. But another big part of it is my impulse spending. If I see an ad on Instagram, or if I see like, ooh, a new toy came out or whatever, I'm just like, click, done. And with how easy it is to just double click a button on your phone and buy something, it has caused a lot of regret when it comes to stuff that I bought that I don't actually need. And so that is a habit that I do want to keep practicing, is just mindful spending. And I think the best thing that I did was just block Amazon on my phone, because that was just way too easy to buy stuff that I did not need. So mindful spending is another big habit that I want to keep. And so now, the next habit is writing. Now, writing doesn't have to mean creative writing, though I am getting more into that. I've been thinking, should I write a book or not? And part of it is I have been reading a lot more, which, is one of the other habits that I want to keep. I have been reading a lot more, and that has made me want to write more. That is something that I do want to get into. When I talk about writing in this case, I'm talking about in my journal, journaling. That's the habit that I want to keep. Even if it's just one sentence a day, I just want to write down something because it just gets all that crap out of my brain and into the paper. And then, like I said, reading, I just want to read every day. I used to do it before going to bed, but nowadays I do it in the morning when I'm having breakfast, so that it's just at night is one less thing for me to feel like pressure to do for my wind down routine. Then the next habit I want to be keep on top of is my medication. I have ADHD, so I am taking medication for that, but I also have, supplements and some allergy medicine that I take. And so I want to make sure that I am taking those consistently and on track. Then the next one is something that I've just been absolute terrible at doing, is drawing. I like to draw. I've been drawing ever since I was a kid. And I lost it a little bit during maybe college, but now I'm getting back into it, and I just keep saying I'll draw for like at least 30 minutes a day, but that just never happens. And so I'm just putting it on here, but I don't expect no, I mean, yeah, I put it on every month, it just never happens, and so I'm just keeping it there just to be stubborn. And the last habit is focus. This is especially at work. I want to be focused. I want to make sure that I'm not being distracted. And that's where this medication and meditation comes in handy. It helps, both of those together help me keep calm and make sure that I don't get distracted, because with my ADHD, after a while I just get bored and I'm like, okay, let me just do some random crap that's not related. And so those were the habits. They have been the same month over month, because these are the most important ones to me. Out of all these, I think the first two I struggle with the most, as well as drawing. Focus has its ups and downs, and same with mindful spending. And so these are, like, I would say, my top 10 focuses or top 10 habits that I want to keep. The next are goals for this month. And so how I do my goals is that a lot of it is related to my habits. I think it is useful to have repetition in the habits and in the goals, because then it's just reinforcing it in my brain that, hey, this is important, make sure you're on it. The one goal that I have, it will be to lose, 5 pounds by the end of August. So, I want to lose 5 pounds by the end of August. And then I'll also add a how, and that will be August by maintaining a healthy lifestyle through eating healthy, and having daily movement. I have a goal, which is, okay, I want to lose 5 pounds. How am I going to do that? And so now I'm tying it into my habits. So, healthy eating and daily movement. By doing that, I can lose 5 pounds. Then my next goal is to keep a consistent sleep routine by maintaining a constant wind down routine bedtime and wake time. And so, I want to make sure that I'm getting consistent sleep. And, part of that is helps if I have the same bedtime and wake time, even on the weekends, and to have like a constant routine that signals my body that, hey, it's time to go to bed. Then I think another goal for mine is to be more present and proactive in my relationship. And by not using my phone. When I'm with my wife. And scheduling events. Or outings, whatever. So, I think one thing is, I do have a bit of a phone addiction, and so I'm constantly on my phone. And even when I'm with my wife, I'm still on my phone. So, I'm trying to work on making sure that that doesn't happen. And then I do want to be more proactive in planning outings so that it doesn't all just land on her to do, dates and stuff. So I'm trying to improve on that aspect of myself. And then my next goal is to, and then this is kind of tricky because I want to stay organized in all aspects of my life, but I don't know how to actually put that into actions. Something, be organized in all aspects of my life. Maybe by putting things away instead of putting things down. Okay, I guess that can make sense, so like, at home, instead of just placing my teacup on the dining table and heading out to bed, I should, so I guess, I think that's a good way, be organized in all aspects of my life by putting things away instead of putting things down. So like, for example, in morning I have breakfast, instead of leaving my stuff on the dining table, I should put them in the sink. Or, I should put my clothes in the hanger on the laundry basket instead of just dumping them on the floor. And that, it makes sense. I think I also want to do this at work where, I maintain proper notes and stuff. But I guess, this could work. So instead of just putting them down on a random piece of paper, I will like, I can still write them down like somewhere randomly in a notebook, but I should then sort them and file them in the appropriate folder structure, which I've not yet created. So that could work. So I think that's a goal, that I want to have. And the last one, I'm gonna keep this short. Okay, yeah, I want to have 5 finished drawings. Complete 5 drawings. By end of August. And so yeah, these are my habits and goals that I've set for myself for August. And now another thing that I will do is I will take some of these habits and I'll put them in here in my field notes, and I'll create like a habit tracker out of it. And so, stay tuned for that video. It is upcoming. But yeah, this is a process that I've come to enjoy. I do this every month now for the past couple months, and it helps me a lot. It helps me keep track of how I'm doing. It makes sure that I am focusing my time in the right areas, and overall just helps me improve my life little by little. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you do in your journals. Do you have any monthly rituals? Do you set habits or goals for yourself? And how has that helped you so far? But that was it for this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one.